The world is not ending with an explosion. It is ending with a hum. A constant metallic hum of traffic, screens, notifications, deadlines, consumption. Cities still stand. Lights still glow. Buildings still scrape, renway the sky. But something essential has already begun to rot beneath the concrete. These cities are not dying because people left. They are dying because people stayed and forgot how to live. They are dying quietly, politely, efficiently. No alarms, no sirens. Just tired eyes staring through glass towers, breathing recycled air, chasing promises that evaporate faster than they appear. The streets are full, yet the souls are empty. The calendars are packed, yet the hearts are starving. And we call this progress. We call this success. But listen closely. Under the noise, something is whispering. Something ancient. Something true. It says, this is not life. This is survival dressed as ambition. This is existence stripped of meaning. These cities are already dying because they were built faster than wisdom could keep up, taller than consciousness could reach, louder than the soul could tolerate. We were told cities are the peak of civilization. That density equals opportunity. That speed equals value. That more equals better. So we poured ourselves into them like fuel into an engine that never sleeps. We traded silence for sirens, stars for streetlights, seasons for schedules. We accepted smaller homes filled with more things, narrower lives filled with more obligations. We learned to live stacked on top of each other while drifting further apart. In these cities, you can touch 1,000 people in a day and never feel truly seen. You can buy anything at any hour and still feel an unbearable lack. The storefronts shine brighter than the eyes of those who pass them. Glass reflects faces that no longer recognize themselves. And beneath every polished surface is exhaustion, a collective burnout masquerading as normal life. These cities are not collapsing structurally. They are hollowing out spiritually. They are monuments to productivity and graves for presence. No one talks about it because everyone feels it, and admitting it would mean admitting we built the wrong dream. We were trained from childhood to believe that worth is measured by output, speed, accumulation, that life is a race and the city is the track. So we run, faster every year, carrying heavier loads, stuffed apartments, stuffed schedules, stuffed minds. Yet the more we acquire, the more fragmented we become. The weight of things crushes the lightness of being. We accumulate objects and lose ourselves. We upgrade devices while downgrading our attention. We optimize every second and wonder why time feels stolen. In these cities, anxiety is not an anomaly. It is the background radiation, a low-grade panic humming beneath daily routines. People medicate the symptoms, but never question the environment. They buy mindfulness apps instead of reclaiming their mornings. They decorate cages instead of asking why they feel trapped. The city promises freedom through choice, yet delivers paralysis through excess. So many options, so little clarity, so much motion, so little direction. The illusion is subtle and therefore powerful. We are told that being busy means being important, that being tired means being successful, that rest must be earned, not honored. So the cities reward those who move fastest, speak loudest, consume most aggressively. Meanwhile, the quiet virtues are pushed to the margins. Patience, simplicity, depth, stillness. In these dying cities, silence feels threatening. Empty time feels uncomfortable. A day without spending feels wasted. We fill every gap with noise because if we stop, we might feel the grief. The grief of a life postponed. The grief of mornings rushed and evenings numbed. The grief of relationships reduced to messages and memories, replaced by photos, never revisited. We are rich in possessions and poor in presence, free to buy and imprisoned to work, connected to networks and disconnected from ourselves. This is not accidental. This is the cost of building cities around profit instead of people, speed instead of meaning, expansion instead of enough. Look closer, and you'll see the decay is not evenly distributed. It concentrates where life has been stripped down to function, where neighborhoods lose their soul and become investments, where homes become assets and people become statistics, where local rhythms are replaced by global templates, same coffee, same glass towers, same sterile smiles. Cities that once breathed now perform. They perform growth, they perform innovation, they perform happiness, but performance is not presence. And eventually, the body collapses under a role it was never meant to play forever. These cities are already dying because they demand constant becoming and forbid simple being. They demand constant consumption and punish contentment. To be satisfied is to step outside the economic script. To slow down is to resist. To live simply is to rebel. And rebellion is dangerous to systems built on endless hunger. But the truth has a way of resurfacing, even through asphalt. The truth is that humans were not designed for perpetual acceleration. The nervous system remembers the forest, the fire, the open sky. The soul remembers mornings without alarms and nights without artificial light. Somewhere beneath the concrete, beneath the contracts and commutes, something ancient stirs. A quiet knowing that life is not meant to be this heavy, that breathing should not feel like a task, that waking up should not feel like an emergency. The cities ignore this wisdom because it cannot be monetized easily. Stillness does not sell. Enough does not scale. Presence does not trend. So the cities keep growing while their inhabitants shrink inward, folding themselves smaller to fit lives that demand too much and give too little back. Yet there is another way, not loud, not viral, not glamorous, a way so simple it scares a culture addicted to complexity, the way of less noise, less speed, less stuff, less proving, less chasing, a way that doesn't require abandoning civilization, but does require abandoning illusions. The illusion that happiness lives in square footage, that fulfillment arrives with the next promotion, that peace waits at the end of exhaustion. The cities are dying because they forgot how to listen, but individuals can remember. Individuals can step off the conveyor belt without burning everything down. They can choose smaller lives with larger meaning. They can reclaim mornings. They can walk instead of rush. They can own fewer things and feel more alive. They can let go of the myth that constant motion equals progress. Simplicity is not poverty. It is clarity. It is choosing depth over display, time over things, presence over performance. In a world that screams for more, choosing enough is an act of courage. In cities that glorify excess, choosing restraint is a quiet revolution. The most radical thing you can do in a dying city is to become fully alive, to notice your breath, to cook real food, to have unhurried conversations, to feel the seasons again, to build a life that fits your nervous system, not just your resume. The beauty of simplicity is that it reveals how little we truly need to feel whole, and how much of our suffering was manufactured. When we slow down, the fog lifts. When we consume less, the mind clears. When we stop chasing, we start arriving. This is not nostalgia, it is remembrance. A remembering that humans have always known how to live well, long before skyscrapers taught us how to live fast. The wisdom of the simple life has never disappeared. It was just buried under layers of marketing and fear. Fear of missing out, fear of falling behind, fear of being ordinary. But ordinary is where life actually happens. In meals, in walks, in quiet mornings, in honest work done without spectacle. The cities will continue to decay as long as they worship growth without wisdom. But you do not have to decay with them. You can become an island of sanity in an ocean of haste. You can carry a different rhythm inside you, a slower pulse, a deeper breath. The revolution no one talks about does not begin in streets or screens. It begins in the moment you realize that your life is not a commodity, that your time is sacred, that your attention is your most valuable currency. When you stop selling it so cheaply, everything changes. The dying cities lose their grip. The noise fades, the urgency dissolves, and in that space something remarkable happens. You remember who you are beneath the roles, beneath the possessions, beneath the endless becoming. You remember that life is not something to conquer, but something to inhabit, fully, gently, honestly. These cities may already be dying, but something else is being born in their shadows. A quieter way of living, a conscious refusal to participate in collective burnout, a return to what matters. The future will not be saved by faster systems, smarter machines, or bigger cities. It will be saved by humans who dare to live deliberately, who choose simplicity in a culture of excess, presence in a culture of distraction, enough in a culture of never-ending more. This is not escape, this is awakening, and it begins the moment you decide that your life is worth more than the pace that is killing these cities in silence.